are two types of case studies. First is, pens are also not working. But we call it as a case. What is case? An illustration. An illustration. Illustration of a scenario. Illustration of a scenario. It could be a marketing case, could be a finance case, could be an HR case, could be a strategy case, whatever. Typically, a case runs into pages, 10 pages, 20 pages, 30 pages, 40 pages. Could have some tables, some graphs, 5-6 scenarios merged into one. Right? This is typically the philosophy followed at the Harvard, and most of the Indian business schools also follow this. You go to IIM Ahmedabad, you go to IIM Bangalore, Calcutta, MDI. So whole of the company profile is given, and you are expected to cull out of facts which are relevant to you. What at IIMs they do? For a particular class, they will give you a case. Marketing teacher will come, analyze it from marketing angle. HR person will come, analyze from HR angle, like this. For example, a very popular case, very popular case is Walmart in China. Very popular case. Go to any BE school, you will find some mention of it. Now, to a teacher of marketing, it will involve modes of entry into a foreign market. To a teacher of finance, it will involve finding out what are the various sources from where I can generate funds. To a teacher of economics, it will involve analyzing the business environment, what are the social factors, political factors, economic factors, like that. So you understand? A single case handled by 5-6 different faculties to come to some form of a solution. So then your question will arise. You will ask me, is it mandatory to have a solution to a case? Is it necessary that? So then you go back to the basic objective of a case. What is basic objective of a case? It is divergent thinking. Divergent thinking. Basically based on your creativity. In 2018, its sequel came, Walmart in China 2. Why? Because in 2018, scenarios changed. There was some form of liberalization in so-called closed economies. So it necessitated rewriting the case, picking up how it was in 2000 and how it is now in 2015 or 16 or 2000. You understand? So the lesson we learn is, even if case studies are for a particular situation, and since situations change, a good writer of a case study will use the dynamism and come out with a newer abridged version. Am I clear? So three things I want to highlight before I start with the case. First, case is to a specific situation. So not only you analyze the industry, you also analyze the scenario within which that industry or that situation has arisen. Second, case studies are never static. Even if the content of a case study is static, you try to analyze it from today's perspective. And third, it helps you to exhibit your creativity. So one I mentioned, the exhaustive case study method, currently being used globally. But around 2000s, the researchers found out, the academic content writers found out, that it is very difficult to maintain the span of attention over 20, 30, 40, 60 pages. It appears to be too big an illustration. Very difficult for somebody to read 60 pages or 80 pages and note down what happened on page 4 or 6 or 7 or so that sequence of events may get blurred. So it was thought that those people who have good exposure to case studies, those people who have good exposure to the overall management concepts, are in a better position to handle a case study. But you have to reach that stage. So that means there has to be ladders. You will climb those ladders and then only go to that case study, that scenario where you are able to analyze it. Second, what for if a participant wants to analyze it only from marketing angle? Only from marketing. What will happen? He will have to read 60, 70 pages and try to find out what is relevant to marketing. Am I right? Suppose relevance to marketing is only 5 pages out of 60. What happens? He has to go through the whole process and segregate the grain from the chaff. Am I right? Should not there be an abridged version pertaining to only strategy? Will it not help? So from it emerged the second concept, which is caselet. Am I clear, my friends? So what is a caselet? Caselet is an abstract version of a case pertaining to a situation, pertaining to a field of inquiry. Pertaining to a particular field of inquiry. Am I clear? Any questions? Please feel free. See, in my class, nothing is wrong. Whatever you say is right, because you are the masters. And you have the first right of a student is right of dissent. Right of dissent. If you don't agree, tell me. I'll try to convince you. So, caselet is an abridged version of a particular situation arising in a particular company or a issue. Now, second question which will come to your mind is, why are we always discussing foreign cases? Why not our own cases? I will give two reasons for it. First, Mostly we in academics are not habituated to write a case. We are very good in analysis, but we have not been born and brought up in a scenario where case writing also is an integral part of analysis. Second reason. Many of the Indian companies are not forthcoming in sharing the data. I will admit it. Many Indian companies, now trend is changing, but gradually. They are not ready to share the data. And because of sorry, I have to look at the camera also. Sorry young man, you can sit down. Right. Because of the lack of this information sharing, cases tend to be half-baked. And third reason, many of the companies even do not maintain the database which is required to write a case. Right? So in this scenario, what do? There are some great Indian case studies. One of my most favorites, and which I wish all of you must study, is Amul case study. Distribution of Amul products. Wonderful case study. It has been written by IRMA, Institute of Rural Management, Anand. What is Amul? Anybody? What is full form of Amul? Yes, my participants? Yes? Anand Milk Union Limited. Largest cooperative in Asia. Anand Milk Union Limited. Wonderful case study. Why? It tells you how marketing takes place at grassroots level. How 3 lakh plus farmers collect milk in the morning. They are sent to 60-70 kilometers away. Anand is in fact one of the districts of Gujarat. This whole concept of cooperative was started by Sardar Patel in order to empower the farmers. So he invited them to form a cooperative. They created what is known as the milk grid. Milk from interiors collected, sent to a district, from district it is collected, sent to the state, from state collected, nationally distributed. So there is a national milk grid which was created by the legendary, yes, Dr. Varghese Kurian. So this case study is about that, Anand Milk Union Limited. Second wonderful case study is Akshay Patra. Why am I? Because in my 1-2 hour session I can't really handle all case studies, but whenever time permits, and especially those of you who are into academics, you must read Akshay Patra. What is this case study of Akshay Patra? It talks of Hyderabad municipality. Now you must be wondering, how can a municipality case study be a classic case study? How Hyderabad transformed itself into a smart city. Wonderful case study. Akshay Patra. And what did it talk of? It talks of a social service. What is social service? Availability of potable drinking water. It talks of how tertiary water is being recycled in the city of Municipal Corporation of Hyderabad. Wonderful case study. So first case study of involvement of people. How 3 lakh plus farmers, they contribute. Very difficult to write such things. Second is the involvement of government agencies, how government can become a source of competitive advantage for a nation. And third case study I will be very keen that you read is Newton Tiffin Company. I will write this. First case study I mentioned, Amul. Second case study I mentioned, yes, Akshay Patra. Third case study I mentioned is Newton. All these case studies support last 12 days of teaching which my friend Professor Parvinder is highlighting. All these case studies are storytellings, wonderfully drafted, but full of analysis, full of data, but written in a layman's language. So if you are not that conversant or you are not very comfortable with data, leave it, just read the case studies. What is this Newton Tiffin Company? Has anybody heard this name? Anyone? No. Has anybody heard this name? Nobody? Don't tell me. All of you have heard it. Only thing is, you have heard it by its common name. Yes, Mumbai Dibbewala. How 75,000, 1 lakh people collect vegetables, collect flour, wheat, and see the ingenuity. One of the most educated person here is a maybe class 8 dropout or maybe a matriculate. And see how far-sighted they are. They ventured out into getting a 6 Sigma certification. Somebody told them 6 Sigma aega, so you will have a big name. They said, okay, we'll do it. Without understanding what 6 Sigma is, they are doing 6 Sigma. What is 6 Sigma? Anyone? Yes? What is 6 Sigma? Arey yaar, kuch to, huh? Yes, ma'am. What is 6 Sigma? What is quality of process? Okay, fine. Chaliye. They are so sure. In fact, there is an anecdote that they were invited at the dinner of Prince Charles' wedding. The video also, just look at whenever. What I am trying to highlight is, here is the use of storytelling as a mode of communicating about a company. In my first session, I talked to you on Panchatantra. I talked to you on Jataka tales. I made a passing reference. Why were we taught, or why were we, by our grandparents, why were we shared these stories? Because they had a moral. They had a lesson. Am I right? Story for the sake of story has no value, unless it instills in you some values, some human values, be it compassion, be it trustworthiness, obedience, whatever. And I say that case studies are a replication of a story. So that means case study will also have a lesson. Are you with me or not? Are you understanding? Or is it afternoon time? Siesta time, yeah? I'm very sure Purunda is hot task. He would not have given you afternoon free. Yeah? Yeah. So, what lessons do we draw from a case study? So, as a reader or as a person who is assigned the task of analyzing a case, how do we analyze a case? How do we narrate that story? Are you understanding what I am saying? every story will have a header, will have a body, and will have a tail. Header, title, body, the exact story, and tail, the lessons. Nishkarsh. Same way a case study. So let us now, in next 10 minutes, understand how to handle a case. How to analyze a case. First stage, in any case study. Am I too fast? Are you understanding?